Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show, home improvement and maintenance tips from the pros.
Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show Action Edition, where we feature feedback from you, our listeners. I'm here with my old buddy, Larry. Larry, what have you been doing this past week?
I have been working in Warner Robins on my rental house down in Warner Robins, and
good for you.
The grass was long, John.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of work time down there.
1 week on, 1 week off is how we're running that deal. So anyway, went out to cut the grass, got the lawnmower out that I borrowed from one of my neighbors. John, I poured gas into that thing, and what did I do? It overflowed and spilled all over my shoes, and so we always talk. We've had a couple of emails about how do you get smells out of things, and you gave me a tip on this one, how to get this gas smell out of my shoes. So I'm turning this one over to you. Okay.
No, one of the things I did the exact same thing. I'm telling you, it's bad enough that you get gas on your shoes. I spilled gas and oil mix for a 2-cycle engine, so I had the oil in there too.
So you had the oil in there too.
I mean, what a mess.
My ex-wife gave me a tip. She said, use a match. But anyway,
use a match. You want the shoes? No, leave them on.
That's right, leave them on, yeah.
So, I tried to all kinds of things to get that smell out, and they were just like topsiders, leather, and I could not get. Yeah. You can't get that. So I remembered when we were in the flying club when one of the guys had spilled gasoline inside his car. Oh. I mean, what a mess, huh? Oh. Two cycle, right?
Oh, with the oil
inside a whole bunch of it. And he couldn't figure out how to get. Then he ran across something, and I'm going to share this tip, and it works. Is denatured alcohol. I soaked my shoes. I had a can of it, a denatured alcohol, and I soaked my shoes with the denatured alcohol, and I blotted it off. And I'll be darned that after a day, that smell was pretty much gone. And so if you have this happen to you, because the denatured alcohol, for chemically speaking, the molecules, are very similar, right? They're both, carbon, and it just eats that smell away. It just eats that gas out of there.
Could you give me the precise chemical composition of how that happens? Because I'd really like to know. Not.
I'll have my assistants get back to you on
that. Will you? Well, thank you. Thank you very little.
So, that is one of the, so that tip, I wanted to pass that along, because this is one of the things that, once you get gas on something, it really
stinks. And I did the same thing. So I took your advice. I ran up to the local big box store and grabbed some denatured alcohol, poured it on there. And brother, that tip works, man. That really is a good one. So if you spill gas, particularly with oil, I was fortunate. Mine was just gas. But anyway, if you spill gas with gas and oil, take some denatured alcohol, pour it on, and really soak it, like kind of let it soak. The denatured alcohol it doesn't really hurt the leather or anything, and it works much better. Like I've tried Dawn, I've tried all that stuff, and it never really works. Denatured alcohol worked much better than any other thing that I've done. So, all right, with that, don't forget to join our Facebook group at Handyman Pros and join the conversation. Send us an email, questions at Handyman Pros Radio Show, or go to our homepage at handymanprosradioshow.com and leave us a voice message. John, shall we see them all next week?
Yes, we shall.
All right. Thanks for listening. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this podcast and have derived some value from it, here's 4 things you can do. 1, tell your friends about this podcast. 2, hit subscribe on your podcast player. While you're there, leave us a review. 3, subscribe to our newsletter by going to handymanprosradioshow.com and click on the subscribe button. We'll inform you of upcoming events, shows, and give you actionable tips for maintaining your home and property. And 4, send us an email with your questions to questions@handymanprosradioshow.com. That's handymanprosradioshow.com. That's our show for this week. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on the Handyman Pros Radio Show.